Am I the asshole for asking my stepsister which mom she is referring to during a heated argument? I'll keep it short. So basically, my 15 female stepsister, 13 female, has been living with us for almost a year after the death of her real mother. Ever since then, my parents have been very distant with me, almost like they forgot me. They always compliment her for literally anything, buy her more things than me because, quote, she scores higher grades at school and so on. Despite all of this, I tried my best to remain calm and show that I'm not really bothered by it. But today is where I lost it. My friends and I have been planning a sleepover at one of my friends' house for today. The thing is, today is also my stepsister's birthday. Because of this, my parents are, all caps, forcing me to go out with them and cancel my sleepover plans. I was, of course, very angry. I do not want to celebrate her birthday. While I was arguing with my parents, my stepsister decided to step in and say, quote, I can do my sleepover plans tomorrow, and that she wants me to be there with mom and dad. This is when I asked her which mother she's referring to. Now, both her birthday and my sleepover are canceled, and I'm punished. Can't go out for a month. Do you guys think I was in the wrong here? Why should I be forced to spend time with them when I don't want to? My friend said I am in the right, but my parents obviously think otherwise, which is why I'm posting here.
Wow. Okay. This sounds like this has been building up for a very long time.
A year? It's been about a year since the little girl's mom passed.
Okay. So it's not that long, but I guess at that age, you really latch on to kind of, you're not only finding your identity, but you're looking for validation, I think, at the same time. And it's at that age, I would say it's impossible not to compare yourself to other people, especially those that are living under the same roof and being treated differently than you. And a little bit reminds me of the story with the grandparents treating some children differently than the others that had lost their parents.
Yeah, that was on a Father Knows Something episode that we did.
Oh, right. Okay. So there's times in these stories where people end up saying things that I do believe they will later regret.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know what it feels like to be in those moments and try to control that. I mean, maybe it's something you've wanted to say for a while, or it crosses the line. It may feel satisfying in that one little moment, but really at the end, I think most of the time you would regret what you end up saying because it forever kind of draws a line.
Yeah, well, and I think for this, like, obviously this is a very, very tough situation. Like, this little girl lost her mom, and now it's like, oh, she's been living with us for a year since her mom died. It's like, well, we're like OP writing that, and just the whole way this was written, our writer is struggling clearly 100%. With this adjustment.
But I think that's also part of the age, because we can look at it from a perspective.
I would not have been this big of an asshole at this age.
No, but
15, you can almost drive a car.
That is true.
Like, think about how you were at 16. Like, I would not have acted like this because I look at it like this kind of too, where their stepchildren, so it's a little different, but like me and my brothers, we all have different dads. And if one of them lost their dad, like I would never act this asshole-ish.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy to me. And so
I think it's hard though when you are younger and you kind of forget it's a lot, you don't have the mental maturity, so it's a lot harder to control your emotions.
Yeah.
And you also can't really think about the true effects you'll have on someone from things you say, because the way the things that people say to each other in middle school and the way people treat each other in middle school, early high school, you don't realize what that does to some people and the effects it can have.
It can ruin their lives.
And so now once you get a little older, yes, of course, not everyone is an asshole at that age, but I think there's a higher chance of inadvertently being an asshole because you truly don't realize the effects, but you need to be taught, or I guess in some instances, you kind of need to go through these experiences a little bit just for the pure fact that you need to see how this like affects people.
I know, but why does
And-
this little girl that already lost her mom need to be traumatized for this
No,
other
it's
girl
ju-
to have
it-
personal growth?
It's completely misguided.
Like and this is where I think the parents did the two of them a disservice. They should have been put in family therapy. All of them, all together, should have been in family therapy from the start of this transition to set them up for success, to put the little girl in a place where you're not being replaced as my daughter. I love you, but like, she is also going through it. Can you imagine if you lost your mom? How
Well, no,
devastated you would be? Like,
yeah, it's
this
totally
little girl
misplaced.
I think she's very much so in the teenager stage of me, 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 me. It's all about me.
Right.
And that needs to be nipped in the bud. Like, absolutely. Grounded for a month, fair. Absolute. Perfect punishment. Fuck you. Fuck your little friends that think you're not the asshole. Fuck all. Like, you sit your ass at home.
Yeah.
Easy. But
Yeah.
they need to, like, rectify this situation by putting them in therapy and getting their family unit whole, because they're not whole. And I get that that girl is struggling with, they treat her differently than me. She gets more stuff because she has better grades, but it's like, okay, well, if she has better grades, then like that's the fact.
She's also unable to put herself in that girl's shoes. She doesn't. She's
There's
like,
no empathy here.
she's just kind of like, oh, you lost your mom. She is
Cool.
no way. She probably hasn't even lost a family member yet.
No.
I mean, right? And so you don't know what that sense of loss could be, especially a parent. I mean, we don't even know what that feels like. So
No.
of course, it's 100% wrong. And yes, you are the asshole. It's just there needs to be some of this work through. And I think therapy could help lead to you being a little more empathetic and understanding
Yeah.
what the effects of your words are, especially also understanding the amount of trauma this girl is experiencing. I mean, a year's fresh.
It is really weird to me. And this is something like a thought that's come into my head recently. But is empathy something you can teach? Like, is empathy one of those personal traits that like you either have it or you don't?
I mean,
Because you can see little kids that automatically have empathy where like one of their friends is hurting and they give them their popsicle or whatever it is. Like, is empathy one of those things?
that is a good point. I guess there are people probably our age that you can think of that look at situations so differently from you. I feel like we watch the same videos on TikTok and we'll both get that sense of like that wash of emotion over us, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, whether it be an animal video or something, or even some of the happy videos that like it's happy tears. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's so amazing. We find kind of the same emotional response in us. And there's definitely people probably that I can think of where you could show it to them and that you wouldn't get that sense of
No.
response. So that is an interesting point.
I know. I will just say too, I think this would have been a little different for me if she wouldn't have said, which mom are you referring to? Because it's like, you know what you were doing with that intention.
100%.
She's insecure that she looks at her stepmom as like another mom, kind of filling the void of losing her mom. And so to use that comment, no shit, Sherlock. She's talking about
Right, but that's the whole
your
point.
mom. One of the comments, I can't even find the post anymore. I'm like searching. So I'm just going off screenshots that I have. But one of the top comments at the time was, wow, yes, you're the asshole. Your friends are too. I get that teenagers can be self-centered, but Jesus Christ, her mom died. Show her some sympathy. And OP did go back and add an edit. Unless your judgment is different than you're the asshole, you can just stop commenting. Most of the you're the asshole comments are just saying the same thing anyway, so you can stop. If you think I'm an asshole, just downvote this post and move on with your day. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it plays right into it. It's the same. You can tell it's the exact same vibe.
I hope this is a wake-up call for her.
Well, some people like that don't change, though. Some people like that will never see it. So it goes back to whether that's learned or natural. I really don't know.
I don't know either.
Or, I mean, there's also the thought that maybe something like this some kind of thing happening in someone's life could change that. Something could happen to you that at a later age makes you empathetic and flips a switch. I think that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But in this
let's hope
case,
so.
I don't see this changing.
I don't either. I think this little girl is going to be very stuck in her ways. And I think this experience is probably going to cause her to resent her stepsister more.
True.